As an untrained unprofessional, when I encounter an issue with a firearm, I spend a lot of time researching, reading forums, and watching videos, all the time hoping I can find the answer that I'm looking for. But there are plenty of times when I can't find the answer. This Remington 870 is one of those times. When I try to run this 870 faster, it has a tendency to hang up. So, I'm making several trips out to the range, testing, failure, back to the workbench, and then back out to the range, trying to figure out the magic sauce that makes it work like I want it. The final result is that it does. I'll leave it up to you to decide if I did it correctly. By the way, my name is Nobody. Alright, so forgive me, I got a little bit of a head cold, so we're going to try to get through this. But to bring you up to speed, I initially thought that replacing the Carrier Dog spring with the stronger spring would fix my problem, and it did not. Now, what is going on is that the shell is hitting the right side of the barrel before it goes into the chamber itself, and it's just getting stuck there. And it's not doing it every time, but it is doing it at least once per magazine tube, sometimes more, just depending on how fast I'm trying to chamber the rounds. If I do a nice steady kind of slow pace, no issues at all. But if I try to push it, that's when the problems start happening. So what I initially thought I would do is that here on the right side, I would go ahead and bevel this out so that way it would try to funnel the shell into the chamber. And it didn't work. So came back to the bench and started looking at different things, and I figured that my problem is, well, the shell's going to the right. I need to get it to center or go more towards the left. So I started thinking about the lifter itself and what I could do with that. All right, so imagine that you're looking straight down onto your lifter. Here's your ejection port over here on the right side, and your muzzle is up here. Also, this is where your magazine tube will feed in. Now, this is the shape of my lifter right here. It was perfectly symmetrical. It was flat, or the front was flat in comparison to where the shell and the chamber is oriented. Now, what I had realized is that my shells, wanting to angle towards the ejection port, I need to do something to the lifter to get it from angling to the right, to center, or to angle a little bit more towards the left, so that way it'll feed reliably. So what I decided to try to do was shave a little bit off of the lifter, getting rid of this part right here, and that would cause, as the lifter is brought up and the shell is lifted up, that curve would cause the shell to want to angle more towards the left side of the firearm. And this is the shape that I ended up with. Actually, it worked out really, really well. Now, make sure that after you do this, that you go ahead and take off all these little sharp edges, because it will scrape up your fingernail and your thumb. Now, making that modification basically took my shell, and it was now dead center as I was trying to cycle it fast, but it was getting hung up on the bottom of the chamber, or the entrance to the chamber. And I had went ahead and did a little bit of beveling along here, but I hadn't gone far enough. So I ended up extending the beveling all the way to the bottom and wound up with a full beveled barrel area. Now, I will tell you that one of the things that you want to do is that you do not want to erode away this rim support. I did my best to stop at that rim support area. That way the shell is fully supported all the way around. So don't go too crazy, know your limits. The other thing that I did was do a quick little polish in this area. it did help with the ejection and smoothing out the cycling on this 870. So running my 870 fast is now possible and very doable as long as I can get my own timing down, which I can tell you I have struggled with at times. It just feels weird to try to increase the velocity of the operations. It doesn't feel natural yet, but I will get there. So there we are. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good day.